this a rooster, Stella?
Oh, can't you buy your bleeding own?
Not chicken, borrow yours.
Chicken, man, we've only just ran out.
You don't need rouge, you need a mask.
Daisy's got a lovely face.
No.
Well, she has.
You try some.
Here, that's mine.
You know, I'm not being all painted up.
You can't work yours, they're a bit asleep, sweetheart.
It's like my mum.
Your mum's not here.
She thinks I'm a maid.
Yeah, well, so does mine. That's it.
Where's Belle? She's late.
Where do you think?
Take your pick, the rose and crown, the crown and anchor, the pickwick.
It's so good, devil.
Blimey, Belle. You look like you need ironing.
Don't say it. Oh, don't let the boss smell your breath. I'll chew a clove. You'll never know. I've only had one.
Yeah, one bottle.
Your mum says drinks the devil's water.
Yeah, she's right.
Your mum says people drink to forget.
She's right.
What did you want to forget?
I forgot.
I'll tell you what you want to forget. Fanny Dorrit.
Yeah, she's a rubbish singer.
And dancer, she had 2 left feet and thick ankles.
What's she not?
Eddie Sparkler. She stole him from me. He was giving me the glad eye till she threw herself at him.
5 minutes. 5 minutes, ladies. I use the term loosely.
Who's Eddie Sparkler?
Oh, Edmund Sparkler's a stupid
But
arse.
he's worth his weight in gold.
He's the son of a millionaire.
And Fanny Dorrit's got in.
Hook, line and bleeding sinker, the bitch.
Here, tell the story from the beginning. You won't believe it, mind, but it's all true.
There was the Dorrit family. Now, William Dorrit, he had a wife and 2 children, Fanny and Tip.
Was he a well-to-do gentleman?
Oh yeah, very posh. But he lost all his money and got into debt.
So he was sent to prison.
Ah, the debtor's prison. The Marshalsea. It's on the way. His children can come and go as he pleases, but he can't leave. Ever.
How is he to repay their debt if he can't leave?
Someone on the outside has to cough up the cash. So his wife gets with a 3rd child. I mean, the midwife's rubbish and the doctor's drunk. The room's so buzzing with flies, they catch them in the little sugar pots. But they both live, and the little girl is called Amy. The child of the Marshalsea! She's not selfish like her dad and Tip and Fanny. So when there's new inmates, she stands at the gate and...
Please, sir. I was born here.
Oh, so you're the little sheriff that's been born inside the lock. Here you are, my dear. Morning, Mr. Shivery.
Morning.
Mr. Bob Shivery, the turnkey.
You thinking of all the fields and the flowers and the daisies, me dear?
Where are the pretty fields, Bob?
I'll show you. What? Over that way. Just about there.
Is there anyone to open and shut them? Are they locked?
Not in general.
Are there people here sorry not to go there anymore?
Not in general. When you grows up, you can go out and pick your father flowers.
Her mother was never strong and dies. So by the age of 8, little Dorrit becomes the little mother of the family.
Please, Mom. I was born here.
Oh, so you were the child? I'm sorry, I have nothing to give you.
I wish to learn needlework.
Why, child? It ain't done me much good.
Nothing seems to have done anyone here much good. I know I'm little, Mom, but I wish to learn just the same.
Don't cry, my dear. I'll teach you.
She learns to be a good workwoman as the years pass, and by the age of 13 she can write down in figures how much the bare necessities would cost, and how much less they had to buy them with. So her sewing earns her enough money into the family to buy dancing lessons for her sister Fanny, and she becomes a dancer. Now that's a matter of opinion.
must practice, Fanny. Then you won't fall over. Then I can be a great beauty on stage. Adore all that see me. Yes, Fanny, but you must practice.
She took the place of the others of the three children in all things.
Who's this?
That's Amy's Uncle Frederick. Now, pay attention to me, because he's a link in the chain of intrigue. He's kind and loves Amy, but he's lost his money too. He was tied up with his brothers, Willie and Dorrit.
Amy's dad.
Yeah, that's him there. Still acts around and is called the father of the Marshalsea. Listen, this is how Fanny gets to work here.
Fanny, Uncle Frederick says he can get you a job dancing at the music hall where he plays the clarinet. A professional dancer. Will I get a nice dress?
Oh, I should think so, my dear.
You will earn a few shillings, Fanny. That'll help us very much. Me, dancing on stage and all the men making eyes at me. I could be famous. Oh, Uncle, do you really think I could?
Oh, yes. If your father agrees to you staying with me.
Father won't allow it. He won't let me work in the music hall. Keep quiet, Fanny, and leave Father to me. How can you? Quiet, Fanny. Father?
Amy, my dear, I was just resting. Is it time for tea, or have we a visitor?
Uncle is here.
Frederick, my dear brother. Join us. Maybe we'll make some tea. Our hospitality is meagre, but we share our frugal fare for the pleasure of your company.
Thank you, William.
Father?
Yeah.
Uncle wishes to have Fanny as a companion, and she is to go and live with him.
Live away from us.
Oh, she will be here a great deal in the daytime, but she is to keep him company in the evenings. He needs a companion. He is to be attended to and looked after.
You all go away so much.
I'll be here in the day, Father. Uncle Frederick needs me.
Do you, Frederick?
Oh, yes. Yes, William. She would be a great comfort.
Very well. If you think it's best, what can I say? I cannot stand in the way of my children's wishes, whatever it may cost me.
Thank you, William. My dear brother.
So, Fanny starts working at the music hall. Now, here's another prison across the sea of France, Marseille.
What's this got to do with the story?
I told you, it was complicated. In what's lying down, that's Cavaletto. Not an evil man, an Italian thief. In what's standing, he's what you'd call the devil incarnate. Not to be met in broad daylight or in the darkest of nights without thinking you was looking into the eyes of a beast with no soul. Rigo.
What's he locked up for?
Murder!
Wake up, pig! Don't sleep when I'm hungry.
It's all the same to me, Master. I can sleep when I will. I can wake when I will. It's all the same.
Say what the hour is.
The midday bells will ring in 40 minutes.
How do you know?
How can I say? I always know what the time is and where I am, even without sunlight.
Light. This light of yesterday or last week, so slack, so dead.
How goes the world, Miss Fondue gentlemen? Here I come with my child to feed my pretty birds.
Another girl. Is it?
No, it's another child in another prison watching the world grow up behind bars.
Look at my birds, my little pretty. Look at the birds. Now feed your love to Monsieur Cavelato, good girl. Now feed the saucy and the rose and the veal and the wine to Monsieur Regards. I hope they are to your liking, sir. As expected, the President will be in your company an hour after midday today.
To try me, eh?
You have said he.
And me?
No news for you, Mr. Cavalier. Some men should not be in such a hurry to be tied. Come along, little one. Say goodbye to your father's bird.
How is your bread?
Fine with the sauce I put to it. I cut it across. I have melon. or crust chicken, or soup, fried fish.
Finish this.
1,000 thanks, master.
So, in an hour I shall be set free or shaved for the sharp kiss of Madame Guillotine. Cavaletto, you pig! In my defense. I am a cosmopolitan. I own no particular country. I moved here 2 years ago. I lived in the house of Monsieur Henri Baronnet, an old wealthy gentleman and his young wife of 22. After some 4 months, he died.
People do. Often.
With no help from an outside force. Without the support of her relations, I married his widow. She found me irresistible. I found her vulgar. After some time passed, I would correct her manners with a loving slap. I have a light hand. I do not just be ill for this.
I do not judge you at all, monsieur.
Wait. Oh. One night, we were walking along the cliff edge, amicably as lovers do. When she mentioned her relations and their hatred for me. We began to argue. She lashed out at me. She tore at my hair and my face. I put up my hands like so. And in her mad tirade, she lost her footing. I reached out, but to my great horror, she plunged to her death over the cliff edge. Oh la la la. A terrible accident. What do you say to that?
Unbelievable. Master.
Do you think they will side with me?
Judges and tribunals are so prejudiced.
Let them do their worst.
Truly, I think they will.
But he's let off. The luck of the devil. He's got information that will lead him to little Dorrit's door that will change her life forever. Look, another sea and more people. All walking and wafted into the story. They're the Meagles, with their daughter Pet, travelling back from a boat in China. The other young girl is Tatty Corin, and this man here is Mr. Arthur Clenham.
Can you believe that they would put my dear daughter Pet in quarantine, Mr. Clenham? We were to be locked up for fear of that wretched plague.
It would have made quarantine enjoyable, Mr. Meagles.
Come, sir. I am quite grateful to you for that.
We are well away from China and any fear of the plague. I trust you have no concerns, Miss Meagles.
None, Mr. Clanham, I assure you.
I'm glad to hear. I will not have you worried, Miss Meagles.
I know we'll soon part when we reach England, but I'd rather you call me Pet, if Father would permit it.
Of course.
Then you must call me Arthur, and I wish that our goodbye when we reach England will not be forever.
That is a sentiment we all share. Pet, we will be on dry land soon. Make sure everything is ready. Tatty Corin, go with Pet. Make sure all your things are secured and everything is tied down.
Yes, Papa.
Might I ask about your daughter's name? I've often wondered about it. Tatty...
Corin. Yes, I will tell you the story. You see, Mother and I, we are practical people.
Why, yes, Mr. Clenham. I mean, Arthur, of course.
5 or 6 years ago, we took Pet to the Foundling Church to hear the singing. Being practical people, we like to take Pet everywhere and show her everything we think can please her. But then Mother, well that is what I call Mrs. Meagles, began to cry.
I got to thinking of all those poor orphan children, arranged tier upon tier, with no mother or father to love them, or kiss them goodnight. Never to know their mother's face, or voice, or hear them call her name. Alone and forlorn in this great world.
Softest nature in the world. There, dear. So, I calmed Mother and suggested that the next day we take one of the children as a little maid for our pet. And being practical people, we knew that if we found her defective or had any ways wide of ours, we would make allowances for her, and her vast deductions of her experiences would have made upon her temperament. And that is how we came by Tatty Coram.
Her name was Harriet Beadle, so Harriet became Hattie, and then Tatty, and Father can't abide Beadles, so we changed that to Coram, after the founding institution. And she became Tatty Coram.
And have you no more children?
Oh, well, yes, we did.
I've touched on something sensitive. I'm sorry.
Oh no, dear man. Our pet had a twin who died when her eyes could just barely peek above the table. We lost her, but somehow she lives for us in Pet. In our thoughts, they have become inseparable. As Pet has grown, so she has grown in our eyes. And I'm sure, when we reach heaven, a woman as grown as Pet shall greet us.
I understand you.
And you, Mr. Cleric, you have business here? Oh, would you have... Sorry. You have plans for when you return home?
I've not been home for 30 years. I've been working for my father's business in China. Since he died a year ago, I closed the business down. I have no will for it.
And what have you a will to do now?
I have no will. I'm the son of a hard father and a religious mother, one who weighed, measured and priced everything. Religious discipline, penance in this world and terror in the next. No kindness or gentleness. This was my childhood, if I can so misuse that word to such a miserable being of life.
Could you not be a practical person and use your experiences to forge yourself a new life?
You give me new hearts. My unknown course lays before me. Look, there is England.
I told Tatty Coram to finish packing.
Very well, my dear. I will go and check the luggage.
Will there be anyone meeting you, Miss Wade?
I think not, Miss Meagles.
We are afraid you feel quite lost without us when we are gone.
Indeed.
Not that we are any company to you, of course, or thought you would have wished it.
I had not wished to make it understood that I did wish it.
Then let me ask Papa if he can render any service to you. I'm sure he will be happy to.
I'm obliged to you, but I prefer to make my own way in my own manner.
Then we must say goodbye. We may never meet again, Miss Wade.
In our course through life, we shall meet many strange people by many strange routes, and what is said to do to them, done to us, shall all be done.
Oh, Mother.
Your pretty daughter starts to think of such things. Yet you may be assured that there are men and women already on their road who have their business to do with you and shall do it. Of a certainty, they shall do it. They may be coming hundreds of thousands of miles over the sea. They may be already close at hand, and there is nothing you can do to prevent it.
Selfish brute! Not caring about me, leaving me here to pack like a slave. I can starve for all they care. Beasts, devils, wretches.
My dear girl, what is the matter?
What's it matter to you? Doesn't signify to anyone.
It does. I'm sorry to see you so.
You're not. You're not. You're glad. I know you are. I've been like this twice before on this journey, and both times you found me. I am afraid of you.
Afraid?
You come like my own anger. I don't know what it is, but you make me afraid. I am ill-used. Ill-used! I am 3 years younger than her. Yet it's she that's always petted and called baby, and I am to fetch and carry for her. She cares of nothing but herself, as if I were made of stone.
You must be patient.
I won't!
Think of Your position. You are dependent on them for that.
I don't care. I'll run away. I'll die. I'll die if I try to bear it. Go away. Go away from me. When my temper comes, I am mad and I don't want to fight it off anymore. What I said was all lies. I didn't mean it. They are kind to me. I love them dearly. Now go away. I am afraid of you. I'm afraid of myself when my temper comes, but I am as much afraid of you. Go away. Leave me to cry myself better.
When the time comes, and it will, you must come to me.
Go and see his mother. No love lost there, but here's a question he needs answered. An old brick house from Cheapside, black with age. It has had, as if it might, to slide sideways, but years ago been propped up.
Nothing's changed. Still as miserable as ever.
Mr. Arthur, you come at last. Step in. Your finger is filled out. But you don't come as your father, nor yet your mother.
Flitwick, how is my mother?
She is as she's been nigh on 15 years. Keeps her room, or her bed. She won't approve of you calling without warning.
Would you have me go away?
It's not what I want, Mr. Arthur. I've stood between your father and your mother. I'll not stand between you and your mother. Come on, all right, yeah.
Who is it, Flintwinch?
It's Arthur.
This is a change to your usual active habits, mother?
For me, the world has narrowed to these dimensions. Just well I never cared for its hollow vanities. I do not know or see the seasons. The Lord has been pleased to put me beyond all that. I have not left this room for... how long?
It is next Christmas.
Is that after?
It is Master Arthur.
I conduct my business duties, and it is a privilege to do so.
You must know I have finished with the business in China.
We do. Your mother is not best pleased about that. But I'll not stand between you and that store.
I saw no sense in continuing after father's death. But I knew you'd want to continue the business here.
You know me.
I have not set my will against yours. I have not been able to set my heart and my spirit to your rules. These past years have not been pleasant or profitable to myself. But I wish to undertake my duty.
Duty? What do you know of duty?
I have habitually submitted myself to your will, and I can only ask you to remember it.
Have you quite finished, Arthur? You have been short but full of matter. I have nothing to say.
Very well. But I will undertake my duty, mother. My father had a great desire. I promised him that I'd personally set this pocket watch in your hands. Inside you'll find a silk watch paper worked within the beads set in the case.
And have you read it?
I have. Contains the letters D, N, F. My father was anguished by something before his death. Some wrong he had done and that he wanted to set right. What does DNF mean, mother? Have we injured or ruined someone by our dealings? You know them all.
You overstep yourself! How dare you accuse your father of me of any wrongdoing?
I only wish that all harm be undone. I believe it was my father's wish.
I will read my Bible. It is the Sabbath. Afri, take Mr. Arthur to his old room. It's time to retire. You may lightly touch my hand. My rheumatics pain me.
Good night, mother.
I've got a partridge in the larder for tomorrow. Let me cook it for you.
No, Afri. No, sir.
Some pork then. I'll get Jeremiah to bring it, just because I'm afeard of my life of him. There's no reason you should be. You own half the property, haven't you?
Yes.
Then you be clever. She's clever and so's he. He tells her what to do, my husband.
Your husband? Have you married Jeremiah?
Well, he said I had to, and she said I had to. If it had been a smothering instead of a wedding, I wouldn't have had much to say against it, those two clever ones. Yes, I'm as flinch-winch now.
Are you happy, Afri?
Happy? I just did as I was told.
And who was that girl in the corner? Sorry.
Well, that's Amy Dorrit. She's a whim of hers.
Mother does not have whims. Does she live here?
No, she goes home.
Where?
Wow, there's another girl that's about Mr. Arthur. Have you forgot your old sweetheart, Flora?
No, nor my mother's cruelty at separating us.
A widow, and well-to-do, and back with her father, Mr. Gaspy. Gemma's nurse.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
A whim of mother.
Flintwinch! Flintwinch!
Oh, yeah!
The papers, do you know where they are? Burn them.
Think on it, woman.
Burn them now! DNF. Do not forget.
And does she burn them?
Nah.
No, there's be about you. He gives and sells them to his twin brother for safekeeping. Who gives and sells them to Rigo, the murderer and blackmailer.
Now part of the web surrounding the Clennams.
Murder. To Rigo. Murder.
I was trying to poison that dog. She believes they have been burnt. The secret of Mrs. Clenham done Savoie, a family shame. How much are the papers worth? 1,000? No. 2,000 pounds. Géramont don Dimimont.
Hey? What's he talking about?
He's got the whole world in his hands.
She had to go, Maggie, at the Clenny woman's. Every penny earned spent on her family.
She's a good little mother, she is. Taters! Little mother back soon?
Expected so, Maggie. You can wait upstairs.
No, Maggie comes back. Taters!
That's all, Maggie. You waiting for Amy Dorrit?
Yeah, all that's lovely in the world she is. All that's good and beautiful.
I'll not argue with you, so boy.
Think she's hurt more feelings, Pa?
I think you might explode if you don't. Where is she going now? Look at that. Lovely evening for a walk.
Evening, Amy.
Evening, John.
Amy! Maggie's looking for you, but she's gone. She's coming back later.
Thanks.
Go on.
Excuse me, would you tell me what this place is?
This is the Marshalsea prison. Anyone can go in, not anyone can come out.
Don't say Amy Dorrit.
Who wants to know?
I am her uncle, sir.
My apologies, I am Arthur Clenham, recently returned from China. Amy Dorrit works for my mother, and I wish to know more about her circumstances.
Oh, I know little of the world, sir. I'm like a shadow passing over a sundial. The woman you speak of is my brother's daughter. Follow me.
So destiny begins to weave the lives of Amy and Arthur together. Not so good for love Lord John, though.
This gentleman wishes to pay his respects, William.
Arthur Clenham, sir.
How do you do, sir? You'll find me in reduced circumstances, but may you partake in our frugal fare? You are most welcome.
No, thank you.
You are in business, Mr. Clenham.
I was in China for some years.
And business was a success?
Yes, but I'm looking for fresh fields now.
Ah. A pastime both metaphorically and actually denied to me. You know, I am known as the father of the Marshalsea, sir. Having been living here many years with my daughters Fanny and Amy, and my son Tip, who is rather wild. Can't really settle to anything, having been brought up here.
I see.
Do you know, anyone of any pretension that come here are introduced to me, and, well, they usually leave, like that gentleman yesterday. What was his name, Frederick?
Oh, I can't think, William.
Well, dear man, it's almost a duty to tell it. Such a delicate action.
Father.
He gave me a testimonial, you might say. Most gracious of him. They come in many shapes, but they're usually money.
I see. Most gracious.
Yes, yes. To the father of the Marshalsea, he said. 2 guineas. Most kind. Most kind.
My niece, Fanny, Mr. Clenham.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Dorrit.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Time to retire. Where's Tim?
Downstairs. He's waiting for us, Uncle. I came from our dress, Amy. Did you mend it?
Yes, honey.
Look sharp, Uncle. Papa.
Mr. Clenham, it's time to depart with the lot. Good night, William. Amy.
Good night, Mr. Dorrit.
3 guineas. Most kind. Most kind.
Mr. Clenham, you must forgive my father.
Not at all. You must forgive me. I followed you here. I believe my family may have done some wrong to yours, and that my mother only knows what that wrong is. I wish to be a friend.
You are very kind, sir, but I wish you had not followed me here. I don't know what we would have done without the employment Mrs. Glenham has given us. It would not be a good return to be secret with her. I can say no more tonight, but good night and thank you. Thank you.
Wait.
Well, sir, looks like lock's on. You'll be spending the night.
And he does. He learns more about little Dorrit and how hard she keeps to work for her family to keep going. He discovers that her father's greatest debt is owed to a rich man at the head of the government circumlocution office called a Mr. Tight Barnacle. The circumlocution office contains the whole science of government. Nothing can be done without the circumlocution office's say-so. Its finger is in the largest public pie and the smallest public tongue. Nothing can be done without the circumlocution office's agreement. More red paper, rubber stamps and red tape lead the way in getting nothing done!
Red tape, red tape!
Red tape.
Excuse me, sir, could you help me?
What do you need?
I want to trace a debt. Could I speak to a Mr. Tight Barnacle?
Third door on the right, first floor.
Thank you.
Next!
That's not you!
Red tape,
Mr. Tight Barnacle?
Not in, never in, not you anyway. What do you want?
I want to trace debt.
Is it a tonnage?
Tonnage?
If it's not about tonnage, I can't help you. Next!
Red tape.
Are you on private business? I want to trace a debt. Well, then you need the British Judiciary, the Court of Chancery, the Circumlocution Office circumvents the law. Next!
No, I don't want the court.
Well, then what do you want? A patent pending? Well, that's 4th, 5th and 6th doors on floors 3, 5 and 8 respectively. Next!
Far too busy pasting papers and files. Call back Thursday.
Well, that was a waste of time. Miss Meagles. Pet, how lovely to see you.
I'm surprised.
Another admirer, Pet.
We met Mr. Glenn, I mean Arthur, of course, on our way back from China. This is Mr. Henry Galvin, Arthur, an acquaintance of mine.
How do you do?
We were just taking a stroll. We are with Tattycoram and Mrs. Meagles. They're about somewhere.
Yes, we seem to have lost Mamma.
I wonder where she could have got to.
Mamma?
How long ago was it that you saw them last? 10 minutes or so, I'd say.
Next!
That was a waste of time.
Waste of time. I think I left my jacket in there. You're a member of Pet, I see. Mr. Glenham.
Indeed.
This is my good friend, Mr. Daniel Doyce.
How do you do so?
We have been endeavouring to get a new patent for Mr. Doyce's latest invention, but to no purpose.
It is the way with this institution that any cause will rot within its walls. My invention will be obsolete by the time I give you permission to use it.
You lost me on purpose, you selfish girl!
Tattycoram! Act 20 and keep your temper. Where is Mrs. Meagles?
I don't know and I don't care.
Count to 20.
I'm afraid we were walking too fast for your wife to keep up, sir.
Tattycoram, walk back down the street and look for Mother.
Nothing but a servant, that's what I am.
Dear girl, such a temper. But, being practical people, she shall learn to be a practical girl. Mr. Arthur, You have business here.
I was looking about for a Mr. Dorrit who's in the Marshalsea. His daughter works for my mother, and I wish to help her.
Amy Dorrit. I know her. I hear her brother is in the Marshalsea with his father.
For how much?
For £40, sir.
That's the least I can help with.
How kind you are to help him, Arthur.
Indeed.
Look, I see Mrs. Meagles. Come on, Ed, we should walk towards her.
You must come and speak to Mr. Cornish at Bleeding High Yard, where my workshop is. But they know the Dorrits and something of the matter, I am sure.
I will. Your daughter seems very happy.
She is. If we are not happy with Mr. Gowan, even though he does have connections with the Barnacle family, he is an artist.
Indeed.
Mr. Doyce is a great engineer, looking for a partner if you have the will to join him. You should talk together.
That would be interesting, Mr. Doyce.
Call me Diamond.
So, he loses his pet to Mr. Gowan, pays off Tip's debt, and gets himself a new business partner. Daniel Doyce, the inventor, and Arthur set up business in Bleeding Art Yard, an ancient place. London grew up around it, and the poor exist in it, including one Mr. and Mrs. Cornish, in and out of debt like a pair of jack-in-the-box. She won't answer it. She thinks it's Mr. Pank's come for the rent.
Miss Cornish, it's Arthur Clenham. I wish you Mr. Lang.
Told you.
Is Mr. Plornishan here? Not to deceive you, Mr. A, but Plornish has got out about some business and we'll be back presently.
I was wondering if you found out anything about the Dorrit's debt.
Oh, I think the debt has something to do with a Mr. Casby.
Mr. Casby and the Dorrits.
Oh, yes, well, Mr. Plornish knows Mr. Dorrit's history, you know, having spent time in the Marshalsea himself.
But happily out now, Mr. Bill.
Oh, whatever could have happened?
Can't he was running on the street like a madman.
Is he breathing, Plornish?
Can't tell. He hit the ground like a stone.
Oh, bless us. He's dead. Oh, bless us, he's alive. Why has his voice gone all funny?
Speaking Italian, he wants some water.
Frat del Pedino!
Gentleman un medico. Send for a doctor.
Hold on.
Oh, pay.
What's he saying?
Yes, thank you. Makes you a beautiful.
Oh, he doesn't, does he?
Doctor.
The doctor is coming. You must stay here.
Why was running?
Why were you running?
Hershey stavo correndo.
Ho avuto il diavolo! Il diavolo!
He says he saw the devil.
Rigo! Rigo!
I have the whole world in my hands.
So, Cavaletto comes over from Marseille to get away from Rigo, and Rigo makes the exact same journey. Are you keeping up? Meanwhile, little Dorrit's sister Fanny is working in the music hall, and she's after my Edmund Sparkler.
My Edmund Sparkler.
Come on, girls, we're in this bit. Get your asses on stage.
Smart and stylish girls you see in our of society. Not to be strict but rather strict, and the chance to see. Never forward, never bold. Not too hot and not too cold.
But they both want the same man. Try and catch him if you can.
Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. I'll make us start the rain. Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. I'll make us start the rain. Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. I'm irresistible.
You are lovely and so are you.
What is a young man to do?
How you cause my heart to burn.
You don't know which way to turn.
Our minds,
Sweet melody so divine.
she's as common as can be, not made for high society. Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. Ta-ra-ra-bum, yeah. Did you get yours today? That's why I walk this way. I should be your sweetheart, dear. If I ever lay down, just my love to have.
Fanny uses all her charms, gets herself in Sparker's arms. Till he's so in love, he says,
Fanny, marry me today.
Ta-ra-ra.
Marry my son over my dead body. Oh, well, that's class of woman. It's the sphere of our society.
But ma.
Fanny, I don't understand why you want me to come with you. Because you are the best at anything. And know that I'm always conscious of being superior to the position that I've been brought into this world.
I thought we were going to the market, little mother.
We have to get food. Oh, don't be selfish, Amy. I need you to come to Miss Myrtle's with me. Not you, Maggie. Maggie, go to the market and get the bread. And I'll see you later, Maggie, at home.
Go to the market, bread, taters, home.
I did not know you had a sister, Miss Dorrit. Is she also a professional?
I thought I'd bring her, that she might know why I'm acquainted with you.
Is she not rather young?
She's older than she looks.
Bert, be quiet. Here is my son at 2 and 20. A very impressible boy. Very.
How do you do, Miss Dorrit? Fanny? Why, say.
One knows that the stage has a strange fascination for young men. Like he has been fascinated by a dancer in the musical.
I should say.
I told you that although you found me in that condition, I was so far above the rest that I consider my family to be as good as yours.
I should say, mater.
Be quiet! I went to the place and gave your sister a token of my affection. A rather pretty bracelet and asked her to visit me.
Which I did.
And I addressed myself to the sister who is not a professional. I told Miss Dorrit that if my son was married against my wishes, he would find himself penniless.
Oh, trifle hard on me, mater.
Don't be quiet! I asked Miss Dorrit to be aware of my son's impressibility, and she has been so kind as to allow me to present her with a mark or two of my appreciation at my dressmakers.
I have.
If only we could come to a millennium where we would not be excluded from a more primitive society, I'm sure we would find it delicious. But as our time is not yet with us, we will wish you good day.
Well, have you nothing to say? Did you love him? No! He's almost an idiot.
The richest people in London. Would you let that insolent woman put her foot upon poor father, who's not free to defend himself, and thank her for it? No, I would not. Then make her pay, you mean little thing. Make her pay, and do your family some credit with the money. I'm back to the musical. Go back to Pa, and be thankful I got a clever head on my shoulders.
I've been to the market, little mother.
That's why, Maggie.
All me papers!
Oh, Miss Dorrit.
I must thank you for helping my brother with his leg.
Not at all. My friend Mr. Dorrit told me all about it. I was able to help. It was my pleasure.
This is my friend, Maggie.
And what is her history?
Maggie, Mr. Clennon wants to know your history. How old are you?
10, little mother.
She had a bad fever when she was 10 and never grew any older.
Any older?
She was in hospital for quite some time.
Oh, warm broth and comfy beds, oh, it were heavenly.
But when she got out, she was set to laughing and not be able to stop. My old nurse was not very kind to her. But Maggie was industrious. She began to read and run errands, and she supports herself. Oh, you can't think how good she is. That is her history.
Well done, Maggie. May I walk you back to the back home?
No, we will do perfectly well, thank you.
As you please. Miss Dorrit, Miss Maggie.
Miss Maggie.
Come on, Maggie.
Little mother's upset.
We should be locked out. Let's sleep in this doorway. Oh, there's a paper.
What's right, little mother?
Don't worry, Maggie. I'll look after you.
Does little mother like Mr. Cleanman?
She loves him. He loves Pet. Pet loves Henry Gowan. Henry Gowan loves Pet's money and himself.
Life has been hard, but I couldn't fight it. Always done my duty like a good girl should do. The world's done us wrong, but I couldn't right it. Now I've met a man who turns my grey skies to blue. The man I love is in high society. The man I love is kind as kind can be. I love him plain to see, but he'll never notice me. I'm lonely as a sparrow that sings in a tree. Life's been a breeze and I've always loved it. Always been the darling of my parents' schemes. Nothing could go wrong and Papa couldn't write it. Now I shall be married to the man of my dreams. The man I love is in high society. The man I love is kind as kind can be. I love him plain to see, but he'll never notice me. Who knows where love will lead us or how life will be? Oh, sorry. I cannot part it. Oh, my husband's clever and he does me wrong. I'd run away, but I'm too scared to try it. Love's a misery, stretches on and on. The man I love is in high society. Oh, Kit Brew, who's never cared for me. I love him plain to see, but he'll never notice me. I'm lonely as a sparrow that sings in a tree.
So, that little sparkler, she's not like to give up so easy. Wash yourselves, here's we go up to no good. You can't afford all this. Who's he waiting for? Someone in the shadows. Ah, Miss Wade. Remember her from the boat? Self-contained, self-reliant, with a cruel twist to her mouth. Wade and Rigaud, partners in crime, those two. Listen.
So, you will spy on Henry Gowan and the Meagles girl, pet.
I will do anything for a prize.
The price will be settled to your satisfaction, I assure you.
And is the girl pretty?
Does it matter?
I like to enjoy my work.
Send to me at my address. Tell me everything they do.
I am thorough in my search, Miss Wade, and you shall do a service for me. Keep this box until I return. I advise you not to tamper with the lock.
I will keep it. Against my better judgment.
Rosette's a beautiful angel.
You came.
I can't bear them anymore. I can count to 20 or 100 and it won't keep my hatred of them back. It is greater than my fear of you.
Hush, my dear. I told you. It was inevitable.
What's the story so far?
John Chubbury, the warden's son at the Marshalsea, is in love with Amy Dorrit, who's in love with Arthur Clenham, who's in love with Pet Meagles, who's in love with Henry Gowan.
Yeah.
Wants to go to spy on Henry Gowan and Pet Meagles.
Yeah?
Arthur thinks his family have something to do with the Dorrit's debt, and his mother has told Flintwinch to burn some papers, but Rigaud has got hold of them and given them to Miss Wade, who has lured Tattycrum away from the Meagles.
Yeah?
Cavaletto has run away from them. Cavaletto has run away from Rigaud, who is now in the with the Cornish family in the Bleeding Heart Yard.
Yeah?
Oh, and Arthur is in business with Daniel Doyce.
Yeah?
Simples!
Not bad. You get all that? Yeah. So, Arthur calls at Mr. Casby's house, except he's not in. But his daughter is. Flora Finchett, Arthur's old sweetheart. But Tom has changed them.
Oh, Arthur, you find me quite alone, which some may consider to be an impropriety. But as we have our past between us and my aunt... Aunt! This is Mr. Clenham! We have our past never to be mentioned, but never to be forgotten, I'm sure. Please, sit, Arthur.
Thank you.
I have changed, I know.
Not at all, Flora.
Oh, you are the insincerest of creatures and have not lost your ways of giving compliments. No doubt you have proposed to a girl on your travels and she thinks herself well off. I only hope she's not a Begodian dissenter.
I'm not married to any lady, Flora.
A bachelor still. Surely you do not keep yourself so on my account. Why, of course not. We promised not to mention it, but I do go on so.
And you're Miss Finching now?
Oh yes, such an ugly name. Yes, Mr. Finching proposed to me 7 times. An excellent man, not as excellent as you. But alas, we were not meant to be. He died. But I'm quite over it now. What did you want to see, Papa?
I was going to ask him if he knew anything about the Dorrit's debt in the Marshalsea.
Why, you must ask Mr. Panks to search out the matter for you, Arthur.
Panks, who collects the rent of the Bleeding Heart Yard.
Indeed, a veritable bulldog, and very thorough in his knowledge and research. You must ask Panks, Arthur. Now, I shall send for tea, and you shall tell me all there is to know. Can it be... Oh, let us not mention the passing of so many years.
They cannot hurt us now, for we meet as friends.
Why, yes, of course, dear Arthur. Friends.
So, if these Panks finds out about Dorrit's debt and a lot more besides. But look, here's John Chivery waiting for Amy. He's going to propose. Hello, John.
Morning, Amy. Amy. I have, for a long time, ages, they seem to me, had a hard cherished wish to say something to you. My father has spoken to your father, and if I could say my heart cherished wish to you, may I?
If you please, John, since you are so considerate as to ask whether you should say any more. If you please. No.
No? Amy?
No, if you please, John. Never. You are a dear friend, John. Ever since we were children and will always be my friend. I'm sure you will find a good wife one day and be happy, as you deserve to be. Goodbye, John.
Goodbye, Amy. Goodbye. The mortal remains of John Chivery, who never amounted to anything much, who died in 1826 of a broken heart.
You should have said yes. We take good care of her.
She wants love.
The poor don't always get the choice.
But Amy, John is a good man. And if you accept him, it would raise our position here. His father is the chief warden of this place.
I don't love John, Father.
Don't you see that I'm dependent on these men for something of every hour of every day? What does it matter? What does it matter if such a blighted life as mine comes to an end this week or next week? A poor prisoner, fed on broken victuals and arms, a squalid, disgraced wretch.
Father, dear Father.
You don't know me as I was, Amy. You've only seen me through the bars of this cage. I was young. I was wealthy. I was handsome. I was independent. People sought me out. They envied me. No, look away. Look away from me. Blush for me. Cry for me. Cry for me. Do it. I do it for myself.
Father, darling of my heart, let it lie there, Father. Let it lie there. Do not distress yourself so. Look at me. Kiss me. Think of me a moment.
Haven't I always, despite my lack of means and position, done the best for you and all of my children? Haven't I endeavoured to keep you as well as the life that's been pressed upon me allowed me?
Rest, Father. Rest. Do not upset yourself.
Only for me, Amy, think on it.
Mr. Dorrit, Have I come at an inopportune time?
Mr. Cannon.
I'm sorry, but I've such news to tell you. Please stand aside. I have taken it upon myself to trace your father's debt and employed a man by the name of Mr. Panks to look into it.
The debt collector.
Yes, but he's also a most thorough researcher. So Dorrit, we have great good fortune.
Good fortune.
Wonderful fortune. Mr. Panks has discovered your father is entitled to an inheritance. A great sum of money. He will be free. Free. And he'll gone from this place very soon.
And it will pay off his debt.
That and a great deal more. Little Dorrit, your father is rich.
Rich?
Yes.
And there is no mistake.
No mistake, I promise you. Your uncle has gone with Panks to book rooms for you.
Oh. But the shock. Help me tell him, please. Father, Mr. Clement is here.
Take my blanket. How pleasant.
Father, Mr. Clement has some news for you. Think of the most wonderful news you wish you could hear. I think if Mr. Clement had not told me so gently, I could not have borne it.
Compose yourself, sir. Imagine your greatest wish being realized. Do not be afraid to imagine it. Your debt is gone. It is gone, Mr. Dorrit. You have a great inheritance and are highly prosperous.
You can leave this place, Father.
Now?
In a few hours, sir. In a few hours, all will be done.
How long do you expect an hour to be for a man who's gasping for air? I'm sorry. Such a shock.
I congratulate you, sir, with all my soul, and the future of which will carry a treasure, the greatest treasure of all, that which sits by your side.
Then I shall see you as you once were, as you've always wished me to see you.
Ah!
Ted, my dear boy. Oh, Fanny, my dear girl.
True, Pa, we're Richard Croesus.
Yes, quite true.
My Pa was shut out of this place forever.
Go, Pa!
I came to wish you and your family well, Mr. Dorrit.
My dear friend, Mr. Plordish. You are most welcome, I'm sure. I shall repay you for all the kindness that you've shown us.
Oh, no need, sir. It was our pleasure.
So, the Dorrits are rich and thrust into high society. Fanny takes to it like a duck to water. A duck, not a swan. As does Tuck. And Mr. Dorrit is finally placed in the world that he longed for. But little Dorrit, she liked her life and she liked her friends.
Edward, is the carriage outside?
Yes, Pa, it will take us to the hotel. Uncle Fred arranged it.
Amy, you haven't changed. You can't go outside in that. Pa!
Really, Amy? You must keep up appearances. Now we are back to our proper status.
Yes, Father.
There's rows of people downstairs, Pa.
How many, Tip?
No more Tip. From now on, you call your brother Edward.
I want to sit at the front with the driver.
Oh, William, the carriage is here.
Frederick, dear brother, such good fortune.
Where's everyone going?
Maggie is going to say goodbye to Amy.
Little mother.
Oh, little Mr. and Mrs. Cornish now, Maggie. And I shall see you when I get back.
Bye, little mother.
Bye, Maggie.
William, people are waiting for the Father of the Marshalsea to take his leave.
Yes. Of course. Of course.
I want to go to Miss Myrtle's dressmaker's with Amy.
The wife of the great banker, Mr. Myrtle, the man of the age. Make sure you cultivate her.
I intend to.
Oh, Frederick, it's fitting we leave this place together. And put a little polish into your demeanour, Fanny.
You are going to Europe?
Yes.
You'll always be in my heart, Amy.
Thank you, John. My heart will always be here.
They're calling for you.
Yes, Mr. Fenner.
Little Dorrit, might I ask that if you meet a Miss Pet Gown and her husband travelling, would you give her this note and write me how she is? She was dear to me once and died. My dear girl.
The poshest hotels, and the poshest clothes, and the grand tour of Europe. Get out your Baedeker guidebooks.
Rigaud has followed Pet Niggles, now Mrs. Gown, and her husband to Paris. He has changed his name to
Landois.
and has befriended Gown. Here they come. Pet and her no longer doting husband Gown, Amy and Tip, with Mrs. Jungle, a woman employed by Mr. Dorrit to teach the girls genteel manners.
Now, remember, my dear, not father, unless you're introducing Mr. Dorrit to an acquaintance, but papa. This makes the lips attractive. Papa and potatoes and plums and prunes.
Plums and prunes.
I was not referring to you, Mr. Edward, although I am watching you all with great perspicacity. Your manner must reflect your social position.
Amy never speaks. It's Fanny you need to watch out for. Mind your P's and Q's, why don't you?
Why, Mrs. Gowan, I wonder you don't sit near the fire to keep warm. The temperature does decline in the evening.
It will be warmer in Venice.
I'm quite warm, thank you.
Why, Amy, I wonder you don't let a servant do that for Mrs. Gowan.
It's no trouble.
But it's a servant's job, Amy.
Mrs. Temple, permit me to draw you. I'm afraid I cannot finish my sketch of Miss Fanny Dorrit as she is taking a stroll with Mr. Dorrit. An artist begs you. Let him perform his art.
Oh, very well.
You're being immortalised.
Friends in London asked I could give you this note. Right now you are.
It is from Mr. Clenham. He says you'll be a great friend to me and asks if I am happy and well. Tell him that I always think of him fondly. Perhaps he may keep the letter. If my husband were to find out, he might not understand.
I will write you a well and happy.
What are you talking about, Amy?
Amy was inquiring after my health, and I'd rather you call me Pet, for I am sure we will all be friends, especially now we are to travel to Venice together.
Venice is a beautiful city. Have you been there before?
With my parents.
But more romantic with your husband?
I'm sure my husband, being an artist, appreciates its beauty.
He has no doubt captured a great beauty in you, has he not? And your dear friend, the quiet Miss Amy?
Everyone, come and see the sketch.
Meanwhile, the Clenham House projects an aura of decay and a certain degree of malevolence. It had fallen on its side some couple years ago and was held up by half a dozen crutches which were weather-stained, smoke-blackened and overgrown with weeds.
Who sent Mother the letter?
She say say she doesn't know the person himself, but he's been coming to visit us from France.
We don't have business in France.
But Jeremiah has a brother in France, and a Frenchman's been sending letters. And a Frenchman came in to see Jeremiah the day you came back. Jeremiah said I dreamt him, but I didn't, Mr. Arthur. I see him as clearly as I sees you now. Such horrible eyes. And he whistles that musical song. Only he makes it sound like a funeral march. Then he set my head.
A name, Alfred? Have you got a name?
Blancois, on the letter. French sounding. Your mother's agitated, and so's Jeremiah. Could it be the D-N-F, Mr. Arthur? You know, the thing she won't say.
I don't know, Alfred. I don't know.
Monsieur Rigaud.
Blancois.
Alias Blancois. Right to Miss Wade.
My dear Miss Wade, I have unveiled myself into the lives of Henry Gowan and his very attractive wife.
The beautiful pet. You will
No doubt be pleased to hear that they are not the lovebirds they once were.
Damn you, Rigaud.
The woman suffers from morning sickness, which I take to mean she is with child. Henri, my dear friend, is not well pleased about the event.
Hardly surprising.
They have met with the Dorrit family, and I plan to travel together to Venice. Send more money. I will travel with them. Yours most sincerely, Monsieur Blancois.
Gowan. I had not known him nearly 3 days, yet I felt he knew every movement of my mind. The only person who understood me. He knew that I loved him, that my passion was fathomless. I gave him his tender pretenses, yet soon after our engagement, I discovered he loved my wealth, not myself. He made the world hateful. Then I discovered he courted the Meagles girl, Pet, and that her family had taken her away from him. I gave full vent to my jealousy, in the hope that I might see the cunning vixen that had taken him from me.
And then you saw me.
Like myself, an orphan at the mercy of others. Your unhappy temper, like mine. Passions that were not fulfilled. You were like my mirror. I wanted to protect you and take you away from them.
But I do not thank you for it.
But you stay.
Italy! Oh, pros and plums. I'm a well-to-do lady touring Europe. The pizza, Saint Marco. Gondolas on the Grande Canal. The Bridge of Sighs. And the Myrtles are touring Europe.
girl? Buongiorno!
Papa, have you seen, yes.
Tip is getting ices for us as well.
We stay indoors till after lunch and then our daily walk to the great triumphal arch is one grand triumphal arch, observed by each observer with the keenness of a hawk. We're a mass of money, linen, silk and starch. We're a mass of money, linen, silk and starch. There's a walk along the pound, distorted and how the gods care. I'm greeted everywhere because I'm a millionaire. They are plainly told don't save in God, then they give me all their cash to hold. I could buy out every bank in Monte Carlo. We patronise the best hotels and restaurants in town, and we spend and spend and spend, but we never, never lend. We searched all shops in Paris for the most delightful gowns and the jewellery to match. We can't pretend that we ever have enough, heaven forfend. Gondolas, how fond we are showing off our wares. We have the gods to care, the blooming millionaires. Let the people sigh and wish to die with only smile and wink, and I think we buy out every bank in Monte Carlo. Let the people sigh and wish to die with only smile and wink, and I think we buy out every bank in Monte Carlo.
How do you do, sir? May I introduce my father, Mr. Myrtle? This is Mr. Dorrit. Oh, sorry, my mother, Mrs. Myrtle. This is Mr. Dorrit.
I know Mrs. Dorrit. Mrs. Dorrit, how do you do?
How do you do?
And this is my father, Mr. Myrtle. This is Mr. Dorrit.
May I say what an honour it is to meet a man of the age? Sir, an honour.
Are you staying long in Venice, Mr. Dorrit?
I think so. May I introduce my daughters, Fanny and Amy, and my son Tip is out getting ices for us. We have been taking the grand tour at a leisurely pace, and we found the Villa the Castillo.
We took that ourselves 2 years ago, I think.
Yes, we did.
You must come and dine with us, mustn't they, Papa?
No. You must dine with us.
Perhaps I could take the Miss Dorrit for a gondola ride?
That's sparkler gone. Hook, line and sinker. And William gets called by another hook.
As the greatest banker in England, may you help me invest my fortune in a propitious manner?
Why, of course. You understand, the greater the speculation, the greater the accumulation.
Absolutely, I understand completely.
I will arrange everything for you.
The Dorrits continue to rise in the world, but not Amy. When she rides in the gondola, she does not see the canal, but the view from her room in the Marshalsea, and the face of Mr. Clenham before her.
Papa, potatoes, plums, and fruits, and plums, and Papa. Papa.
You must wait till she has the table to order and sound like a perfect lady.
Amy, you must say Papa. You are always saying, dear father, and fetching rugs and glasses of water. When will you learn?
Really, Amy, you do embarrass me. Every action that is not refined is a reminder of those things that pain me greatly. It must be left far behind us.
But I don't wish forget those times, Father. Papa! 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 Papa!
Must remember our position and not let the family down.
I am sure, Papa, I never wish to give you pain, and will do my best to be as you would wish me to be.
I protest. I protest.
What is it, Frederick?
Have you no memory? No heart? Have you forgotten the service that this girl has done for us? How dare you, Fanny? Have you forgotten what we've been, and your devoted guardian against those times? Your friend, your more than mother who cared for you. How can you treat her as your inferior?
I love Amy! I'm just concerned with the family credit.
Oh, typical brings with the family credits. I'm sorry, William. We've got to forgive us if we say anything to give pain to such a dear, devoted girl.
Papa! That's not fair! I've never said a word to Amy, but it was in her best interests.
Oh, not to be mean, Fanny. Uncle's right. I didn't know he had it in him.
We must forget our past. It haunts me, Fanny. We must forget our past, and no one must ever know, whatever the cost.
I do try not to think of home, and London, in our little room, where everyone was so friendly. Mr. Chivery, and John, and dear Maggie. I do try not to think of Mr. Clenham and his gentle voice. I do try to forget.
Russia! I have an opportunity to try my invention there, but it is a risk, Arthur, and you would be left to run the business alone.
That's no hardship then. If it means you can see all machines realise after all these years, I'd be happy to.
Not to deceive you, Mr. Doyce, but myself and Clornish being in business ourselves now, business is business and all opportunities should be taken.
There, Miss Cornish has said all of that then. You have a will to see your invention succeed, and you must follow it.
Follow it.
Very well. Russia it is.
Meanwhile, in Venice, the gondolas glide down the warm waters of the Italian evening. Love is in Sparkler's eyes. Fanny seeks out sweet, sweet revenge.
Fanny, my dear, time for the gondola ride.
One server.
Oh, I say, my hat! Fanny, now that Matron's quite happy with us being acquainted with your fortune,
That's Sparkler.
I was wondering if
Yes?
you would consent to
Oh, spit it out, Sparkler.
to marry me.
Oh, yes, my dear.
Oh, spiffing.
I'll make you
And the wedding between Fanny Dorrit and Edmund Myrtle has been arranged, to Fanny's delight. And Mr. Dorrit has a similar idea. So, at the wedding,
Fanny, in time, I'm hoping that Mrs. General, who's chaperoned you and Amy so well, would agree to be my wife.
Really, Father?
Yes. She is considering my proposal as we speak. But time to toast you and Edmund. Mr. Myrtle.
Sir!
Cannot express my feelings of my family being merged to yours. It honours me. It honours me.
And may I say it honours us, sir. We must be happy for your daughter and my stepson. Did you know he is joining the circumlocution office?
Excellent.
A bureaucratic prison. Once in, you can never get out.
You just heard a bell. Just heard a bell?
A bell? No, sir. No bell.
Yes. Yeah, there it is again. Amy? Amy! Amy, dear. Just see if Bob is on the knock. Ladies and gentlemen, the duty devolves on me to welcome you to the Marshalsea. My daughter, born here, is known as the child of the Marshalsea.
Dear William. William.
Frederick, you should go home. The bell.
William, lean on my arm.
Come away. Come away, Father.
Well, really?
There's Bob. Best of the turnkeys. You can call me Father of the Marshalsea. Oh, where's Frederick? It's not like him to leave without saying goodbye.
I'm here, William.
He's upstairs. Come upstairs to bed.
Amy takes William to his room. His mind floats between the present and the past. Italy and riches, and the Marshalsea and poverty. Hours pass. Amy does not leave his side.
You've been sitting up half the night, Amy. You must sleep.
But Uncle, you may call for me.
Let me sit by you. You rest. Haven't I been by his side as you have always have?
Good night, Father.
Dear William. William. We should have stayed in London. Had a quieter life. My dear foolish brother. What good has money ever done us?
And in the morning, both men were dead. Frederick sitting by William's side, far beyond the judgments of this world, and high above its mists and obscurities.
Oh, Tip! Father and Uncle both gone. I don't think I shall bear it.
Chin up, old girl. You've still got your tip with you. Finish all this travelling. The gentlewoman when Pa lost his senses, so no more P's and Q's for you. Henry and Pat are travelling back, so we could travel with them.
Is the Frenchman still with them?
Oh, don't worry, Amy. He's long gone. Just took off. They don't know where. Pat thinks he poisoned their dog. Brian, let Fanny and Sparkle know we're going home.
London. Amy, I'm so glad to be going home, but Henry does not wish me to see Papa. Henry says Papa hates him. He's so angry with me all of the time over the smallest of things. Oh dear, Pet. Surely he's happy about the baby. He says it to be my toy to do as I please.
Was it possible to feel so alone when you were married? I do love him, Amy. I thought life with him would be heaven.
I'm sure he loves you, Pet.
But he let that awful Frenchman stay with us when he knew how much you frightened me. The only time Henry's happy is when the allowance from Papa arrives. Sometimes I think it's only the money he wants. The money, Amy, and not me at all.
Why, Mr. Clennam! Papa tells me your business is doing excellent well and you're likely to be an entrepreneur if all goes to plan. What a shame you have just missed Papa. He says you're very wise to invest your money with Mr. Merdle, the man of the age.
As I came here, Flora, I believe I saw a woman I know as Miss Wade.
Oh yes, she has a legacy that Papa invested in and draws upon it when it is necessary. Is she a close friend, Arthur?
Not at all, Flora. I met her coming back from Marseille. Did she have a Frenchman that comes with her?
Oh yes, a most unnerving man. One night he was very forward with me. He has such unnerving eyes and is always humming.
This tune?
Oh, such a pleasant voice, Arthur. I am quite overcome. Yes, that is quite like the tune.
It's a musical song. Ta-ra-ra-mundia.
Arthur, the lyrics are most risque, are they not?
I believe so, Flora.
And is it true, Arthur, that your business is doing excellent well? Papa says you're likely to be a millionaire if all goes to plan.
Mr. Pankson, your father, assured me that investment into the stock exchange should increase the business. But I'm not sure if Mr. Doyce would approve.
But he is in erotic foreign climes, is he not?
Exotic foreign climes, yes. I believe so. Well, due to your father I called and we'll call again. Good night.
Good night. My sweet prince among men. Poor gauche boy. One would think he was no longer deeply attracted to me.
Catty Coram, love letters from Henry Gowan to his dear pet Meagles. Give them to your mistress.
Here is your box.
No. Tell her to keep them a little while longer until I deal with the Clennam woman.
Tell me nothing. Tell her to keep it.
Adama.
Why do you keep his filthy papers when you know he means to do terrible harm?
What is it to me? Let he do as he will.
Have you no heart?
You should know. You tear at it enough.
I will be free of you.
I do not bond you.
In Kensington, Fanny is living the high life in London society.
Exactly. Now, I'm sure Papa would have wanted you to marry well, Amy.
I don't want to be married, Fanny. I just want to be quiet.
Be quiet. What do you want to be quiet for? When I can introduce you to hundreds of young men with money whenever you want. You must come out with us. Mourning can't go on forever.
I am quite happy here. here with you and Mr. Sparkler. I do hope I don't get in the way, but you can marry and have your own life. We'll have a party and I'll introduce you to London society. You have got money, Amy. I'm sure if you had your way, you'd go back and live in the Marshalsea.
Fanny, my dear, Pa's carriage at the window.
Is your mother with him?
No, it's just Pa.
Good afternoon.
And I'll leave you to call, Papa. Would you like tea or coffee?
Oh, no, thank you. I checked into the club and got a bottle of wine.
We were just talking about poor Papa when you came in. Don't think Mrs. General will get any of his money, do you?
No, she won't get a penny.
Did you pick up Miss Myrtle on the way home?
No, I shall go the shortest route and leave Mrs. Myrtle to take care of herself. I dare say she'll manage it. But equally, I am retaining you and myself. I just wanted to check in, see how things were.
Chance, I'm sure.
So I'm off. I don't suppose you have a penknife I could borrow. I know you have several wedding keepsakes, tweezers and scissors and such.
Oh, yes, Pa, we have a penknife and mother of pearl, that do.
I would prefer black.
Fanny, my dear, fetch me the tortoiseshell. I'm glad you paid her.
Tortoiseshell. Thank you. You shall have it back tomorrow.
I'll forgive you if you ink it.
I'll undertake not to ink it.
Now, what do you reckon he wants that penknife for?
Go on, you tell him.
He goes to the Turkish bathhouse and slits his throat.
Yeah, dead as a doornail.
Why? Because the man at the age is a fraud. He's been using investors' money to pay other investors, and the bank's collapsed like a deck of cards.
Everyone loses their money, including Arthur Clenham, who takes full responsibility of losing the business.
He's been staying in the doctor's old room in the Marshalsea, though bankrupt and ill.
Or I can bring you tea, or have furnish your room for you. I will have dinner brought you. I understand you've not eaten these past 2 days.
I will not eat, but thank you, John.
I will not shake your hand.
Why not, John?
Beg your pardon, sir. If you not eat for your own sake, perhaps you don't eat someone else's.
Truly, John, I don't know for whose.
Sir, you trifle with the deepest feelings of my heart. And if you're not so ill, I invite you out of the art, sir.
I do not understand, John. How have I offended your feelings? I'll do this for my own sake. No one cares if I eat or not.
You mean you don't know? You don't know?
What, John?
He says what? He says what? And what is more, he seems to mean it. Do you see this window?
Of course I see it.
Do you see this room? That wall opposite in that yard below will be witness to it from week to week to month to month.
What is to what?
To Miss Doris' love.
For whom?
For you. You.
He had kissed her and she had fainted into his arms the day she left the Marshalsea. Looking back on his own poor story, he could see that everything had led to the innocent figure of little Dorrit. He had travelled thousands of miles towards her. She was the centre of his existence. The murderer and thief, Rigaud, now known as Blandois, searches out little Dorrit and gives her a package. She's taken up a room at the Marshalsea to nurse Arthur.
You are to keep this package until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. If it is not proclaimed by then, you must open it and read what's inside.
I didn't like him. Didn't like him at all.
Don't worry, Maggie. You won't have to see him again.
Promise, little mother.
I promise.
Arthur's mother, and the great Greek heir to Cheapside, doesn't lift a finger to help his son out there.
I don't think to refer to the Clenham house. Rigaud, alias Lenoir, spy, philanderer, dog killer, and murderer has come to blackmail Mrs. Clenham.
I'm not gone. I'm not going out of this room, and no one will make me. You tried to make me think I'm mad, but I shall listen and stay. I'll help for Mr. Arthur, who's still in prison and can't help for himself.
And what makes you, heap of confusion, think that what we have to say will have anything to do with Mr. Arthur?
Because of him! And him! And whatever's going on?
You see and hear this foolish creature? Do you object to her staying where she is?
By all means. Madame, I am a gentleman.
I heard you have been connected with murder and a French jail.
Just so. Look, your husband's watch. And inside, D.M.F. Do not forget.
Do not forget.
And may I ask what it is that you should not forget?
You may not.
Every occupation, may I will tell you. Arthur Clenham is not your son, but the son of your husband and a singer. You took him under your uncle's understanding that you would raise him as your own. The birth mother went mad with grief and died. Is that not so? There are legal papers.
There are no such papers.
Your uncle felt so bad at the singer's death that he gave the inheritance and the estate to the youngest daughter of the mentor. That is what you should not forget.
I do not forget being married for 12 months and finding my husband to be an irreligious liar. I do not forget the son born to him by that woman and their flagrant sin. I do not forget the promise I made to bring up Arthur as an honest, God-fearing man. Arthur's father and I live no further apart, with half the globe between us, than we did in this house. I do not forget the injury that he did me.
I did to see his mentor.
Frederick Dorrit. He had no children, but his brother did.
Little Dorrit.
Hush your mouth, woman.
Hush yours, monster.
And the inheritance. Do you not forget the money promised to little Dorrit? You kept the money for yourself. You are as much of a thief as I.
Hold your tongue, sir.
Do not forget was to keep that tainted money from her. Why should I reward a sin? Frederick Dorrit was a ruined imbecile and had no children. I found the innocent Dorrit girl and gave her employment, which was far better for her than the money. I suppressed that paper with the knowledge of Arthur's father.
But not his consent.
And what was that to me? It is over. I will say no more. You have no proof.
Nah, I have the codicil to his will.
Flintwinch!
I did burn it, and he stole it.
I didn't dream it, did I? Pig, you sold it to him!
Don't harm somebody with such talent for dreaming. It was not my Flintwinch that gave me the box.
Who then?
My twin brother. He was to keep it safe for me. It wasn't right to burn the papers. You needed to think on it, woman.
You can have the papers for £2,000.
We are not rich here.
You are a bold woman.
I am a resolved woman.
I have given the papers to Miss Dorrit and told her that if she does not hear from me by 7 o'clock, she is to give it to her darling Arthur, who she is looking after in the Marshalsea, an ange parfait.
My son shall not know. My cloak, Afri. Wait for me, Blantois.
She's so angry. She's walking for the first time in 15 years. With the wards,
the Marshalsea.
Dorrit, I have thought of you every hour of every day I have been in this room.
Have you? I came as soon as I heard you were here. I waited at the gate.
Little mother's brought us fruit and greens and jelly, Mr. Arthur. It's as wonderful as the hospital.
Dear Mr. Arthur, before I go, I must ask you something. Papa left Tip money in his will, and he says I'm to have what I need. But I have no use for the money. No wish for it, but for your sake. Please, let me give you what you need to be free of this place. I cannot be rich with you here. You who protected me so well. Pray do not turn from your little Dorrit now in your affliction. I ask you with all my heart, my friend, my dear, take all I have and make it a blessing to me.
A blessing, sir?
I cannot accept your kindness, Miss Dorrit. These mistakes were my own, and I must make them right. I must accept there is a gulf between us now.
Please don't send me away. Don't say I'm not to be with you anymore.
How can you be? Your dress belies your position. You are far above me now. I believe you always were.
That's I, Mrs. Clennam, good to see you, Annie.
Me?
Let's come downstairs.
Good night, Arthur.
Miss Dorrit,
Is it possible that you are so recovered, Mrs. Clennam?
well, this is no recovery. This is not strength. I don't know what this is. You have a packet with you which you were to give Arthur if it were not reclaimed before this place closed tonight.
Yes.
I reclaim it. Do you know its content? Read it.
She reads it.
You know now what I have done.
I think so. This story is so full of pity, I'm not sure I follow all that I've read.
I will return all that I have held from you. Can you forgive me?
Oh, I can and do freely. You've always been most kind to me. No, please. It's not right. Please stand. I forgive you freely. Without that.
I must make another petition to you, that you do not tell Arthur of this until I am dead. I know you are attached to him and will make him the first consideration, which is right and good. Please spare me his knowledge of this until I am dead.
I will.
God bless you. Afri, swear.
Why would I want to hurt dear Mr. Arthur? I'll say nothing.
You wonder why I did not entrust this to Arthur. I wished to bring him up as unlike his weak father as I could. For his good, not for the satisfaction of my injury. I half wished you would love me, but I was too hard on him for that. I brought him up in the paths of righteousness and strength. I would not have him cast me out from his respect, to die before his face, like one consumed by lightning and swallowed by an earthquake.
Do not blame yourself.
There was the man who put this into your hands.
Monsieur Landois.
Blandois possesses the proofs and is waiting to be bought off. He threatens me with your knowledge of this. Will you come with me and tell him that you know all, and try to prevail with him? I do not have the sum he requires.
With all my heart. Help me, Afri.
So, they travelled back to the house. The feet were at the gateway when there was a sudden noise like thunder.
What was that?
They turned to see at the window the Frenchman when there was another thundering sound. The house heaved, surged outwards, opened 150 places, collapsed and fell to the earth.
Oh, my house!
Arthur, come up to neighbour's house, Miss Amy.
Rigaud and Blandois, both in one man, lay dead and crushed beneath the wreckage. Flintwinch was never recovered.
We have been the Good riddance to him. And the other clever one. She never spoke or got out of her chair again, so I got the last words there.
And so, the secret is that Amy meets Mr. Meagles at the gate and tells him the story.
That is the story, Mr. Meagles. It must be kept secret from Arthur. It is her wish and mine not to pain him. But in time, when she is gone, he may know.
Oh, very well, my dear, as you wish. The Frenchman, did you have the papers on him?
No, they are not found. I must go up to Arthur. Will you come?
I await my dear wife. We will be up shortly and pay our respects.
Father! Father! I have the most amazing news for you. I'm quite out of breath. What a dreadful place this is. Prison.
Excuse me, something's got places to be.
This is a prison for debtors, not for murderers.
Murderers!
Not for murderers, dear. Now, recover yourself and tell me the news.
Tell you, Mr. Meagles. I'll tell you a miracle. I'll show you. Tatty Coram! Tatty!
Tatty Coram, you've come back.
I shall say sorry 1,000 times, Father, and count to 100 or 200 if you will have me back. I have left Miss Wade forever. She had such power over me through understanding what was bad in me, and twisting any good to evil. She could use my anger against people I should have known only wanted to help me. I was afraid of her, as if she was of my own self-grown right.
Poor girl.
When you wrote and told me of Arthur and the evil Frenchman, I knew it was Langlois. He gave her this box to keep. It was Arthur Kennard's and stolen by the Frenchman. If she knew you wanted it, she would have destroyed it, burnt it. So I brought it to you, and shall never return if you call me Tatty Coram again and take me as your own. I shall never be so bad again. I will get better by slow degrees. I won't stop at 5 and 20, but count to 5 and 20,000.
Well done, my dear. Well done. This is important. I will tell little Miss Dorrit that we have it, and if it is Arthur Clever's papers, he shall never know. Tatty Coram, we will call you Harriet, for that is your real name. And we will have you back, won't you, Mother?
Oh, with all our hearts.
Come on, let us take this to my office.
Not to deceive you, Mr. A, but there is such a hubbub downstairs. Mr. Meagles has returned from foreign climes. Maggie, pop the kettle on and we'll make him some tea.
Should give him time, Miss Peg.
I'm sure that Mr. Plornish now being in business, he'd want to wish it well to get you out of this place, Mr. A. Now, let's get your jacket on. No Miss Dorrit today yet, Maggie?
Little mother's out with Mrs. Clinton.
So you have heard the news? Oh yes, the old of Cheapside, the crash. I'm sure bleeding out yard shook to its roots. But your mother is well and aptly tends to her. And your Miss Dorrit. She's so sweet and so kind and caring for you, Mr. A. Oh look, here's Mr. Meagles.
Arthur, how are you? I've just returned from France, looking for that vile Frenchman, but no luck, I'm afraid.
Oh, we believe the Frenchman is dead. He died when the house collapsed.
Is this true?
Yes, but Eagle may never know the connection between him and my mother. It is over now.
Yes, Arthur. It's over now.
Arthur, your mother is tired but well. Aptly tends to her.
Oh, little Dorrit, so much news.
And there's more.
Fanny!
What you say there is?
Oh, bless us, I'm going to pop the kettle on, hold on.
I remember all his money with Myrtle. When the bank's money turned to dust, so did ours.
So we shall have to live off Sparkler, even Miss Myrtle, who is living with us now.
Oh, living with Mummy Myrtle? Serves you right, Fanny.
Arthur, I am poor. As poor as when you first met me. Are you quite sure sure you won't share my fortune with me now.
Oh, Amy, it's all so hard to believe.
But it's true. We have lost everything. No. We have everything.
Oh, little Dorrit, my one true love.
Never to part.
Never to part.
I never was happy. I never was rich. I'm more happy to be here with you in this prison and go out daily working for our bread than I would have the greatest fortune that was ever told and be the greatest woman that was ever honoured in the greatest place anywhere in the world.
Riches indeed, Fanny.
Oh, Arthur! Oh, Miss Dorrit, oh, Mr. Dorrit, oh, Mrs. Sparkler, Miss Maggie, oh, Mrs. Plornish. Why, everyone! Oh, Arthur, I took it upon myself to bring you the substance of food, and then took it upon myself to bring you the added substance of an old friend come back from all the rushes. You would not believe who has come back from his travels. I believe a fairy tale cannot acquaint us with the story he would tell us. Mr. Joyce!
Mrs. Dorrit. Miss Dorrit, should I say Mrs. Sparkler, Mr. Meagles, Mrs. Plornish, why, everyone. And Arthur, the truest friend in the world. Oh, Arthur, why did you take on the debt as your own? Surely it was for us to share as we shared in the business.
It was my ill judgment, Daniel. I lost us everything.
Well, not everything, Arthur. But you will be pleased to hear, I'm sure, that the Circumlocution Office does not extend its reach to Russia. My invention is made and working in factories all over that country. Doyce and Clenham is making money. They'll have to pay off the debt 1,000-fold. We have found our success.
Congratulations!
Well, we must make arrangements for Arthur's release. And I rather think he would like to speak with Amy alone.
Flora, it was nice of you to bring Daniel.
I would not have you suffer here a moment longer than needs be, my dear friend.
You are free, Arthur.
And you'll be my little Dorrit for always.
Always. Oh, little mother.
But little Dorrit, why does Maggie light the fire? We will be going to prison.
It is just a fancy I have, but I wonder if you could burn this folder paper for me, Maggie.
Superstitions, little darling. Is it a charm?
It is anything you like. My best, my own. Only humanly when the fire burns up.
Does this charm need anything to be said?
You can say, if you don't mind, I love you.
I love you.
What's so amazing, little mama? Yes. Can we have chitters? Yes.
And so, they married?
They do.
And Fanny stays with Sparkler.
And Mrs. Murdle's is still not the happy ever after she was expecting. Still, she's got money though, and the life of a lady.
Money is everything.
Say that when you ain't got none.
They went down into the roaring streets, inseparable and blessed, and as they passed along in sunshine and shade, the noisy and the eager, the arrogant and the contrary, and the vain, fretted and chafed, and made their usual uproar.